So it's June already, which means it is now 5 months since I finished going through the life-changing magic of tidying up and Konmariing my entire house. And I kind of wanted to just give you guys kind of an update on how that has been and where my life is going is in terms of minimalists and other new projects. So on the minimalist front, I am still finding that I'm getting rid of a lot of items, which is a little sad that I didn't get rid of them the first time, but having been through the KonMari process and now having touched every item in my home, I have a better sense of how long it's been since I've used something, and I look at something and I'm like, I haven't used that since I went through that category. Does it really spark joy? Do I really need it? Do I really use it? And that's really helped me to be able to continue to get rid of some things. So, yay for things still leaving the house, boo for things not leaving the house during the KonMari process. So I am still currently planning on doing at least most of the categories of the KonMari again before we move. Like I've said a couple of times through my KonMari journey that we are moving at the end of the summer. We're going to be downsizing, and so that's kind of one of the big pushes for me, is to be able to do that process very smoothly and without a lot of stress. We don't want to have a lot of extra stuff. So I still haven't decided if I'm going to film that. If I do, how that's going to look. It'll probably be a lot less thorough than the first go around, because that was a huge project. I've also been reading some other minimalist books, and it's been really great. I've been really utilizing the library, which is something I realized when I was going through my books, is that a lot of these books that I had are books that they are going to have at the library. And I don't really need to have my own personal copy unless it's one of my absolute favorites. So now when I come across a book that somebody recommends, or one of my minimalist bloggers comes out with a book, I wait and I get it at the library. So that has been super awesome. So that's how I got Spark Joy. I did not purchase that one. That's Marie Kondo's second book. The other one I just got right here is the More of Less, which just came out. It's by Joshua Becker of Becoming Minimalist. So I was really excited to read his new book. So this is brand spanking new. I was also really pleasantly surprised to learn that he's actually a Christian. I saw this at my local Christian bookstore and I was like, wow, he must be a Christian because he's in a Christian bookstore. So that was cool to learn about him, and because I feel like a lot of the minimalist movement tends to be more associated with kind of Eastern religions and kind of Buddhism and Zen and all that kind of stuff. So it was really cool to read about it from a little bit more of a Christian perspective. And being said, this is not an overly Christian book. He does use a couple of stories from the Bible to kind of illustrate some of the points. But it's definitely not kind of like a smack you around with my faith kind of a book. And so just like with Marie Kondo's The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, where I kind of skipped over some of that Eastern kind of say thank you to your socks as you give them away thing. If Christianity is not your cup of tea, you can just kind of do that with this book. But I really enjoyed this book, and one of the things that I really liked, that really touched me, was when he talked about giving up some of the more difficult items in your home. And this one was talking about things that you dreamed about doing and the items that you have that might be associated with that. And he cites an example about a guy who had a lot of woodworking equipment, and he finally decided to give that up because he realized that dream of becoming a master carpenter was not really going to happen, and so he's going to let that go in his life. And here is what Joshua has to say about this. He says, sometimes parting with our possessions means giving up an image we have created in our mind of the person we would like to become. Sometimes minimizing possessions means a dream must die. But this is not always a bad thing. It may be difficult in the moment, but it may also be necessary. Sometimes it takes giving up on the person we wanted to be in order to fully appreciate the person we can become. And that really spoke to me, and I thought about what kinds of things was I still holding on to, and that I was holding on to because I kind of had that idea of that person that I wanted to be, and how those items really, you know, gave me that identity when I'd kind of outgrown it. It really wasn't something that I needed to hold on to anymore, and it was really holding me back from being able to do other new things that I'm now interested in. And so that's been really great, and that's helped me to, in the past couple of days, to kind of go through and get rid of a lot more items, some things that I thought would be very difficult to part with. This is a great one for hobbies, you know. If you have a hobby that you tried, maybe you wanted to become a painter and you have lots of painting supplies and you decided that really wasn't for you, you really don't do that anymore, you can let that go and tell yourself, it's okay if I am not a master painter because I'm going to do something else. And so I thought that was really, really cool. So I do recommend this book. It's been super awesome. And I'll let you guys know what other minimalist books I pick up and read. The other thing that I have kind of gotten into, which is similar to, but not exactly minimalist, which is zero waste living. So I found out about zero waste living through a blog that I read. The blog is called The Simple Year, and every year a new person takes it over and they write about a simplicity challenge they are trying for a year, whether it's buy nothing new or to, you know, purge and become a minimalist. And this year's bloggee is blogging about zero waste. And zero waste is kind of exactly what it sounds like. It's about minimizing the amount of waste that you have in your home. And it wasn't something I'd ever really thought about before. You know, I try to recycle and be a good person. But really, we do live in a very disposable society, and it just got me really thinking about how many things I actually throw away and how really wasteful that is. So I started finding some other zero waste blogs, and I picked up this book called Zero Waste Home, and it is by Bea Johnson, and she has a great blog as well. Picked this up at my local library, and this is kind of a step-by-step guide to go through your house and to kind of analyze each sort of area, like the kitchen and the bathroom, and to give you some things to think about and some ideas for ways to minimize the waste in those areas. And I really kind of feel like this is kind of a natural progression from minimalism if you want to minimize the amount of stuff that you have and then minimize the amount of impact that you're having on the environment. Now, I wouldn't really consider myself to be super environmental, but I do feel like we're all responsible for doing our part to take care of the planet. And so that's kind of my approach to this. I'm not kind of going as gung-ho as I was with Konmari and the Minimalism. This is going to be kind of more a slow easing in process. So I've seen some bloggers like Bea who don't have a trash can in their house. They put all of their waste in a mason jar, and that's like for the whole year. I don't think I'm ever going to get to that part, especially with my crafting hobbies. I mean, this is a pack of stickers. It's in a non-recyclable plastic packaging, and I'm pretty sure that the backing paper they use is not recyclable either. So obviously this is not a zero waste item, and it's never going to be a zero waste item. But I thought there's probably a lot of really, really easy things that I could do to significantly decrease the number of things I throw away. So I've been trying to focus on single-use disposable items that I can replace with reusable items, and so far it's been really easy. So some of the things I have done is I whipped up a bunch of reusable grocery bags, and I will leave a link in the description to the tutorial for this. These are really cute. They've got a little partial lining inside, and they have French seams. So that's really nice, and they're really durable, and they've kind of got that flat bottom. So I like these for groceries. Now, I do a lot of my grocery shopping at Aldi, so I was kind of already not using as many grocery bags as most people because you have to bring your own grocery bags to Aldi. But now I have these, and I can use these other places, and I can also use them for my non-grocery shopping. The other thing I got to help with grocery shopping are these, and they are reusable produce bags. And really, when you think about produce bags, you're just putting it in the bag, and then you take it at home and you're throwing away the bag. So that was something that I thought, that's really an item that doesn't add value to my life, yet I use it every single time I go to the grocery store, and it just ends up in the trash. And so simple things like that, getting a water bottle to take to work, and not drinking bottled water at work, getting reusable napkins instead of paper napkins, using rags instead of paper towels, and these are the kind of things I've been doing to try and help decrease the amount of waste. And then also just being a little bit more vigilant about looking for that little recyclable symbol on things, and even things like packaging. Those plastic bubble wrappers, excuse me, my allergies are a little crazy right now. But even things like those plastic bubble wrappers from the post office are actually recyclable. They have a little recyclable symbol. And while plastic isn't the greatest thing to recycle, and it's still not the greatest thing for the planet, the fact that I can put it into the recyclable pile instead of the trash is a better option. So those are the kind of things that I've been doing, and my whole philosophy with this is baby steps and just trying to make small decisions that are better and better, and see where that goes. So that is that, and let me know if you guys have any questions or any topics about minimalism or zero waste or Konmari that you would like to hear about, and I will see if I can do a video for you guys. And I think that's it. So go ahead and leave me a comment, and I will see you guys next time.